Okay, so now we're on page 11 of your notes packets. We're doing operations with complex numbers. So it says treat the complex number as a binomial with I as a variable. We're going to do the same with these problems as if this I was just an X. Okay, so we're going to do the same processes. These are just like what we did for the warm-up. So let's see. It says simplify the following complex numbers. First, I look, what type of problem is this? It's an addition problem, right? I'm adding. So I'm going to come down, rewrite them without parentheses, and then combine like terms. Nothing's happening to this 3 minus 4i because there's no minus sign out in front of it. It's just a plus sign. This plus right here means that everything over here is just going to stay the same because it's going to be a positive 5 and then a positive 7i. So there's my first step. And now my step is just come down and combine my like terms. My first pair of like terms are just my constants. That would be a 3 and a positive 5. Add those together, I get an 8. And then I have a negative 4i plus 7i. That would end up being a plus 3i. And that's my answer. That's as far as I can simplify that. Cool. Next one over here is the same thing, except for we have a minus sign in here. Now this one I do need to be careful with. That minus, I need to apply it to the 8 and to the negative 4. So first of all, nothing's happening over here to my 5 plus 7i. That's staying the same, so I just write 5 plus 7i. But now I have a minus 8 and a minus a negative 4i gives me a plus 4i. See how I got that? You guys know that by now. So I combine my like terms, a 5 and a negative 8 gives me a negative 3 and a positive 7i plus 4i gives me a plus 11i. Any questions? Ready for the next one? Okay, so these next two are going to be multiplication. Right? These first ones were add or subtract. Since I have two binomials in parentheses right here and I'm multiplying them, this is where I do my first, outer, inner, last. I do my FOIL here. My first would be a 5 times an 8. That gives me a 40. My outer would be a 5 times a negative 4i. That's a negative 20i.
Hey, wait a minute. These ones are exactly the same as the ones we had of you.
Yes, they're exactly the same as the warm-ups. Except for we're going to see there's one more step because we're working with i's. We'll see that in a second. Yep, there's one more step. We'll see. So I did my first, I did my outer, and I'm going to do my inner as a 7i times 8, and that gives me a positive 56i. And then my last term in each parentheses would be a 7i times negative 4i. That's a negative 28i squared, right? I times I gives me I squared, and that's key. We're going to change that I squared to a negative 1 in a second. So first step is come down, combine my like terms. You should always have your like terms in the center here to combine. So I end up with a plus 36i minus 28i squared. Okay, and if I'm working with i's, I'm always going to have this last step. I know what I squared is equal to, right? We talked about in the beginning, I squared is equal to negative 1. So I'm going to need to change this to a negative 1 and multiply by it. So that means this is going to become a negative 28 times negative 1. So it'd become a positive 28. So 40 plus 36i. And if I come down one line, this is going to change to a positive 28. And now I have some more like terms I can combine. I combine this positive 28 with the 40. And if I come over, I'll get 68 plus 36i. Boom! Woo! Yeah! It's awesome, right? Okay, last one. I'll tell you what, can you guys try this last one here? Go ahead and give it a try. Now this one's going to be, you're going to follow the same process. You'll get a slightly different answer because these two are conjugates. 3 plus 4i and 3 minus 4i. Those are conjugates. What you're going to see is that these center terms are just going to cancel each other out.